Now here we're going to use what's called a controller object. It's just something that the player doesn't know it's there and they probably don't care. Just like when you watch a movie, you care about the action. You don't care that there's somebody running the lights and running the camera. You probably aren't even aware that they're there. Now, just like in this game, the player doesn't care that there's this object controlling various parts of the scene, but they would certainly notice if it wasn't there, because all the asteroids and saves objects would go on into infinity, way down, 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 and eventually slow down your computer because it runs out of memory to keep track of all of those things. So, controller objects just help keep track of things within the scene, but the player never sees them. Now we've got more to do, but first let's play a game. I'm going to give you 10 digits that I want you to memorize. Repeat them back. Ready? 4, 1, 9, 3, 5, 8, 1, 2, 7, 8. Did you get all that? Let's see. 4, 1, 9, 3, 5, 7, 8. That's a lot to process, right? Now, your computer has a similar problem. It can keep track of some items, but the problem is, if we just let it go the way it is, it has to keep track of this asteroid, and if I zoom even further out, it has to keep track of these asteroids way after they leave the screen. The player doesn't even care where they're at, but the computer is still tracking their location, those numbers of their position. And imagine there's a whole bunch of these that it's tracking. Eventually, it's going to make your computer or your phone, if you're running it on there, it's going to make it slow down and start to stutter. Okay, there's only so much memory. In game design, this is called a memory budget. So you don't want to use it all up tracking asteroids the player can't even see. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it so that when this asteroid is down here, it gets deleted. And we can tell the computer when it's below a certain object or area, go ahead and remove it. So we're going to put an object here so that the computer knows when we want it to be deleted. So let's hit the plus arrow here, and I'm just going to go to basic shapes. I'm going to use the arrow because it's easy to describe. It doesn't matter what shape you use. Let me zoom in here. I'm like way out in space still. So off to the side here, I'm just going to rotate it, doesn't much matter. And I'm going to put it up here for starters so we can test it to make sure it works. But this will give me the logic of when the arrow, or when the asteroid gets below the arrow, right, when it's down here, we want it to be removed. We just have to program that. So we're going to make a new event and call this delete asteroids. So when should they be deleted? Well, like we talked about, when anything from the asteroids class, its position is below or lower than the arrow. Well, what should it do when it's lower than the arrow? Well, we want that affected object, not all of the asteroids, just that asteroid, its clone, should be removed. Let's try that out. I put the arrow up here so we should be able to see this. It's doing its delay. Here comes an asteroid and a save. Good, the asteroid went away, but you know the saves are going to have to be tracked too, so we better do the same thing for the saves. Let's make another event and do the exact same thing. Delete saves, because we don't need those to be tracked when they're off the screen either. When anything from the saves class, its position is below the arrow, when that's below the arrow, do that affected saves object, its clone should be removed. Now in Unity you might think about it like this. If the asteroid's transform position Y is less than our cleanup arrow, then destroy it, right? That's exactly what the code does. If the transform position Y is less than Our sensor, or arrows, transform position Y, then destroy it. The result? Just what we'd expect. When this position Y is less than that position Y, poof! It's gone. Quick verification. And these are going to get deleted here way too high up in the screen. But we do that so that we can actually verify it's working. Now we can just put it down here so that it's not tracking them way out into space. I know it's in space anyways, but that will be much easier on our computer and it won't make our game stutter. So, awesome. We're making progress. This is amazing. Keep going.